I come from a troubled past, the mind of a double standard. I write with the
good
other
afternoon,
hand.
ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing? Once again, you're at another episode of the MenOvHonor podcast. And tonight joining me is my brother P. P, what's the deal?
Always a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me, Ash.
Peace. Yes, indeed. So, really quick, folks, obviously we are live on my Facebook, so I'm anticipating folks to be tuning in shortly. However, the topic tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is bosses versus servants. The essential role of a boss and a servant. Which role is more effective? Which role do you play a part in? And I'm not gonna lie, I want to tell them where we stand with the roles. How you think? What you think? Just let it up.
To get it started, I think the best way to break the ice is to technically go over the definition of both words.
Cool. Say no more.
You know?
So, I'm going to pull up the definition really quick of both roles. First, we're going to start with bosses. So, basically, a boss is someone who is in charge of a worker or an organization. And I'm not going to lie, bosses hold several titles. I don't want to discredit a boss in any way. I believe that bosses, they are just as significant as servants. But if I were to say who actually is more effective, I'm going to leave that for the viewers for a second. But nonetheless, a boss is someone who, the worldly term of a boss would, the perception would be someone in control, someone who's in charge, someone who calls the shots, someone who is a ruler and or a master. Bosses hold many titles, and I let me just say this. I'm a servant.
Wait, what's a servant?
And a servant, let me break down the definition of a servant. A servant is a person who performs duties for others, right? And of course, I would like to go into depth. A person, male or female, that attends another for the purpose of performing menial offices of him, who is employed by another for such offices for labor and is subjected to his command. The word is correlative to master. Servant differs from slaves, as the servant's subjection to the master is voluntary, the slave's is not. Every slave is a servant, but every servant is not a slave. Key. You know what I'm saying? And the motive behind, the topic tonight is because the term boss is thrown around loosely. And you got men and women collectively now, generically just throwing up the term, I'm a boss. I want to be a boss. And there's nothing wrong with it, because in order for there to be a balance, there needs to be two sides. There needs to be bosses and servants. If you were to ask me who is in fact more effective, I would have to say servant. And the reason why I say that is bosses is more a term that is surrounded by self. It's more self-indulge. It's a term. It's a status. It's somewhat intimidating. You know, when you hear boss, you think of someone in control, somebody who intent is to control someone else. You know what I'm saying? It is not the most welcoming because, like I said, people would be intimidated of just walking up to a boss. You know, they have a status. They sitting on high, and to me, the world revolves around servanthood. You know, to a large degree. So, and I'm not taking anything away from a boss, but like I was sharing, a lot of times just because you're a servant doesn't mean that you don't possess leadership. It doesn't mean that you don't or wouldn't have followers or people that look up to you or people that you might have to assign a mission. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take away from any of that. And I believe that, you know, it needs to be understood because a lot of times we think boss, we think riches, we think I run stuff, we think I own everything, we think I call the shots, but there's a more essential value, you know what I'm saying, if you were to be going with the term boss, you know what I'm saying, you you know that it's two sides, you know, it's two sides. Servants is a more welcoming. Servants are more welcoming, and servants they're more humble because the whole initiative is to give. So when you meet a servant, you feel like they're kind of in the same boat with you. They're walking the same walk with you. They have similar experiences. They're not afraid, or you won't be afraid to associate yourself with them. But at the same time, it's a humbling kind of call. You know what I'm saying? And I'm generally a server. Irving, what's going on? Yes. So they chiming in. Entrepreneurship. Irving, what's going on? Irving Castellanos, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Yumika Haggins, good to see you. Keyshawn, good to see you. Deneen O'Reilly, good to see you. And really quick, man, what's the number again? This is your phone number. Okay. All right, so tonight, I would like you guys to chime in. You know what I'm saying? Are you a boss or are you a servant? The topic is boss versus servants. You know what I'm saying? Preferably, I'd like the bosses, you know, to chime in. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to call. And we're going to be taking live calls, y'all. So, you know, if you guys want to speak on the topic or want to chime in, you guys can call my phone. Number is 713-992-4965. That's 713-992-4965. And we're talking about bosses versus servants. I love the term servant. Servant, it says that I'm always willing to give. You know what I mean? Always willing to give of myself. It doesn't leave out the fact that I have leadership within me. It doesn't leave out that I might potentially already be a boss or somewhat on boss status, in control of his life, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like the term control because it's kind of misconstrued. You know what I'm saying? I like to be able to empower or influence. You know what I'm saying? I prefer those terms. But it's a few things. P, what are you? Let the people know exactly what you stand.
Before we tap into my stance, what's imperative when coming to a conclusion based off of those two choices is that you're able to make an educated decision.
Yes.
You know, my brother just expressed his sentiments and his thoughts on where he stood and what he felt and what he believed in regards to servant versus boss. But we often make decisions and they're uneducated decisions. Like we just kind of irrationally or compulsively or impulsively make decisions faced when you have the choices.
Yeah.
In this case, two choices. What's imperative is that you know what you're choosing. You know the difference between the two.
Right.
You know, because quick question, Skrilla, are you a boss or a servant, man?
Boss.
And that's exactly
Welcome
what we
to the
wanted
show.
to
We
hear,
need
man.
you on here.
That's exactly what is a boss, by the way, Skrilla? Give us your opinion. What's a boss?
Man, boss.
We need you to speak into the mic too.
Boss takes sacrifices. Boss do what he got to do to make sure that his team and his company is on top. That's what a boss is.
Good.
And what would you say a servant is? What's a servant?
Somebody that works for a boss.
Wow, that's interesting. So you believe all servants would be working for a boss to some degree?
So what?
All servants you think will be working for a boss, or should be working for a boss?
Well, everybody got to play their role.
Right. So it's all about roles, right?
Sometimes, what happens when you stay down with a company and you learn the business.
Right.
You end up,
leveling up. Right.
Bossing up. Is that a safe assumption? Bossing up?
So, you about to exit? I thought you about to. All right, okay.
I'm a boss and a worker.
All right, that's cool. That's cool.
I gotta put in the work too.
All right, no doubt. Shouts to Skrilla, man. So, go ahead, Pete. Speak your piece.
We needed to hear that.
Yeah.
We needed to know. We need to hear an opposing opinion. I think it's only fair that you have representatives on both sides to make an educated decision. And so technically, it's just all on your moral compass in regards to servant versus boss. I'm sure a lot of people would aspire to be bosses.
Right.
But then you'd have to ask them what their definition of the word boss is.
Right.
You see?
Right.
And a lot of people, I don't say a lot of them, a lot of people say boss when they refer to servant-like tendencies.
Right.
Because even at a boss, there's required some work.
Yes.
Which is technically to serve.
Right.
So I'm working, I'm serving a purpose. So I don't need to tell you my stance on that because as far as I'm concerned, boss is word.
Yeah.
Boss is word. You see what I'm saying? So I think, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Bosses serve.
Bosses.
You see what I'm saying? So, and it's like we was mentioning in the barbershop maybe a week or so ago about, or maybe even last week, you get an overstanding of it's never about you, nor was it never intended to be about you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So survival obviously is instinctive. It goes without saying, No one has to teach you to breathe. It comes natural.
Yes.
No one has to teach you to eat. It comes natural.
Comes natural, right.
So survival is sort of instinctive.
Yeah.
However, once you gather the understanding that you have a purpose, then it's imperative that you walk in that divine purpose.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm 100% sure that purpose will require some due diligence, some work, and some serving.
Yes, sir.
There you have it, man.
So, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna throw this in the mix, right? A servant is gonna have a lot more effect on society than a boss. You're not gonna like that. A servant is going to have more effect or be more effective than a boss is. Reason why? Everybody is not gonna be welcoming to a boss. So a boss and I'm not gonna lie, we need both in order for there to be a balance. But if we want to talk about, aspiring roles or, because a lot of us, we just hear the term boss and we immediately think that that's a status to achieve. Not necessarily in all events, because like my brother P said, we all got assigned roles. There's a mission that God assigned you for. And when you find that mission, instantly, the initial thought would be, Lord, use me so that I can serve.
Right.
Use me in society that I can serve the people.
Your people.
Your people. And we're not trying to preach, but let's not get the roles mixed up. You got a lot of females running around talking, I'm a boss chick. I'm a boss this. They hear Rick Ross and they just lose identity of themselves. But if you think about it, and I'm not going to lie, initially, a boss should, like Skrilla mentioned earlier, be someone that looks out for their team. But the image of the term boss, whether we like to agree with it or not, evolves to just one person. That's it. We talked about LeBron James in the barbershop today. We talked about AD, right? AB, sorry. And they're saying AB is someone who you would characterize as a boss. True indeed. But do you see servants? Do you see the servants? Do you see a team? And I'm going to call out a few names that, in my perspective, play the role of a boss. You have LeBron James. You have, right now, you have, what's his name from Houston with the beard? James Harden. Big dudes in the eyes of the public and in the sports world. These guys, they consider bosses. But rarely do you ever see servants. When they talk about LeBron James, they make it seem like LeBron is the only person that it was needed to win the game. It's just absurd. It's a team effort, and we don't hear nothing about the team players. We just hear about LeBron.
But this is what you gotta understand, hashtag as the boss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You are to take, or you are held accountable.
How to come?
Yeah, that's accountability goes with that position.
But won't you agree that the people that is on his team should have just as much recognition as
without question. But remember,
saying.
we're discussing the boss, because when you carry that title, you put that target on your back.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, you do.
So it only makes sense if this is your operation, if you're the captain, if you're the pilot, if you're the boss, if you're the man or woman, coin terms, and you take accountability.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If you have ownership of something, or not necessarily, leadership is always imperative, but not just leadership, but if you have ownership and you take responsibility, that comes with the term boss. If things don't go according to plans, hypothetically speaking, let's say we don't get what we need, can we attack the workers? Or the first thing we asking for, where's your manager? Who's the boss here?
True.
Who do I need to speak with? How do I escalate this?
True.
That's who they want, right?
True.
Huh?
But check this out.
Come on, Darius. They can't hear you shaking your head.
Right.
Huh?
But check this out. We like to parade this term boss, right?
That's right.
But you go into, let's bring it local. You go into a subdivision. You see management on the flyer that's outside upon you approaching the subdivision. You don't know, you have no idea or didn't even intend to pay regards to the workers that built this entire subdivision. Like, they're like, to me, these people need to be the stars. The workers need to be the stars. I'm saying we're not talking about status here. We just talking about mere recognition. The workers, to me, need to be the stars because they're the ones putting in the work. How the heck, we skip over them and we talk about boss just because he funded the movement, not realizing that without joint hands, this entire establishment wouldn't even exist. Period. Silence in the room, huh?
The thing about that situation is, in regards to recognition, as a servant, as a servant, the recognition, when you get to a certain level of maturity, a certain level of experience, you see what I'm saying? It's really not to edify you anyways. So, since we can't change the way things are, maybe we could. Then again, we may not see it in this lifetime. With this generation of millennials that are running the operation as of right now, the influencers of the world. Yeah. Then what you do is, you make the necessary adjustments to allow those who want to be bosses to be bosses. Right. And take everything that comes with that title. And those that are selfless servants, if I may add, and you do your due diligence. Sometimes you do something for someone and you don't technically require recognition. Right. I don't need to be recognized for this because I'm not doing it for recognition. I'm technically doing this because in my role in this life and at this point, I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing in my position. I am being selfless and I am serving. The Most High would have you to serve. Right. You see what I'm saying? Even, and I'm not a biblical person, but as a reference point, if you will, Yeshua or Jesus, depending on your knowledge, he served. Said he was a carpenter, if I'm not mistaken. Now, he may or may not be anything to you. Right. So I don't want to impress that. You got to be very careful these days. Hashtag you could offend people. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Your opinion can offend others. So not to discriminate against the religious or sacrilegious or the everything in between, the atheists. And I'm just saying as a reference point, even Yeshua or Jesus, if you will, served. So did Moses. So did Father Abraham. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, so we all serve, whether we acknowledge it or not. Right. Now, let me say this. This show, but this topic is initially to propose some sort of objective or an objection. Now, P right here, he is being passive, but his son is Leo. Boss is in his blood. Let's be clear about that. He is, they speak highly about Leos naturally being placed in positions of management. They don't work for nobody. These Negroes. Well spoken, man. Yes. Yeah, you can't contend. I don't work for nobody. Yeah, I work for everybody. Yeah, but keep going. I don't work for nobody. Damn it, I work for everybody. Yeah, he trying to be nice, but I'm really, just being honest. He a boss. You feel me? That's how I got him in his room. You know what I'm saying? But it's good because I feel like, if we are to, and let me touch basis on why a good name is important, right? A lot of people like to say, I don't give a F this, F y'all, I'm doing me. But one of the number one platforms for that alters whether your business rises or falls is based on reviews. They wasn't ready for that. Yeah, it's based on reviews. And people might object, but let's level and be realistic here. If you don't give a damn about how people perceive you, then why is reviews so important? Why is social media so important? Why is comments and likes so important?
I know.
That's why his attention so important. I agree. People do care how they view, whether they admit it or not.
But substantially speaking, you want good reviews for your business.
Imperative, not just for your business, but for you as a person.
You should.
As an individual.
You should.
At some point, you're going to want some sort of credibility.
Right. You should want reviews or great reviews based on self. Now, not to get too biblical, but it's in the word that it's better to choose a good name than great riches. It's better. It's just biblical. These is fundamentals that I feel like we miss out on because we so caught up in the term boss. We want to be in control. We think boss. We think Rolls Royce. We think, silk on the seats. We think, Wraith with the skies above it. You know what I'm saying? We think iced out Jesus pieces. We think calling shots, Versace linen. These is all material stuff that will soon disintegrate. Granted, something was to happen to us today. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like the term boss. I'm going to just throw that out there. I don't.
Hashtag, what's that comment, man? Let's read that comment, man.
Jericho, what's up? Jerry, what's up, dog? Jers, what's up? Oscar, I see you. So, Jerry, real quick. Let me just take a minute to read a comment from a client real quick. The boss is the blueprint. The workers are there to only carry out the plan designed by the boss. You want to be recognized, then be so thorough. Or is that through or thorough? Thorough. Your work ethic and how you perfect my vision and dream to life. And by then, the universe would reward you. But the most important part of being a worker is knowing you there to gain an income for your own blueprint and becoming an investment of yourself, boss self. Now, I can't contend. What you got to say on the
I need to hear that one more time.
Okay.
Hey, can he call us, man? You
Hey,
want to
Jerry.
give us a call, Jerry, so we can hear what you're saying, man?
Jerry, do me a favor, dog, if you could hear me, right? Call my phone right now. So I want you to call my number so you could speak on a reference to your comment that you made. Just hit my phone whenever you get this message, 713-992-4965, and I will allow you to join in, brother, and speak your piece. You know what I'm saying? 713-992-4965. Hit my phone, Jerry. Yeah, so basically I like servant. I like servanthood, man. You know what I'm saying?
Where the ladies at? You got some ladies? We get some female perspectives on your live.
Any females joining us? I believe hold up. T Lang joined us. Donnie Davis joined us. Dion Hubbard, what up, Dion? Yumika Haggins joined us. If we have any more females that's viewing us live right now, feel free to join in, man, and speak your piece. We would love to get your perspective.
Chime in, tap in.
Tap in. The topic tonight is bosses versus servants. Initially, what role do you play? What role do you feel is most effective in society today? Jerry, the number is 713-992-4965.
Can you comment that on the page?
Yeah, let me comment it real quick. Hold on. 713-992-4965.
There it is, people.
There it is, P. I just put it up in the comments. So just hit my phone real quick, son, so you could break down, what you meant by your comment. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I'm not big on. I respect them. I'm not gonna lie. I respect them, but I think it's something about, and I'm not opposed to them. I'm not saying I object or I contend with their position. I'm just saying it's a little bit overrated. You know what I'm saying? You got people who ain't never been educated. They want to be a boss. It's achievable. Granted, you did the work. Granted, you put your head in some books. Granted, you understand that the servants need to be your number one priority. Why? Because they're going to be doing the work.
You know what? And another thing, not to interrupt you, but it goes back to that person's definition of the term boss and or servant. I mean, because you ask 10 people the same question, you're subject to get 10 different answers.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are basing our decisions, we are basing our conclusions on our understanding of the term boss and servant.
Right.
Now, you're going to come with a completely different angle and perspective, and we appreciate and we need that. Vital.
Yes. Yeah, we need that.
Because you may open our eyes to something that we may have took for granted, maybe overlooked, maybe didn't pay attention to, or maybe was just oblivious to.
Right.
But I know if you're listening, and if you're under the sound of my voice right now, understand that even as a boss, you have responsibilities.
You have. You should. You have responsibility.
If you're a boss, whatever that is.
Right.
You have responsibilities. In fact, when you step into ownership, you generally have more responsibilities than you did when you were a servant and or worker, if you will.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a lot that goes into the production of an NBA basketball game. Let's use that as an example. Or even an NFL game. There's a lot that goes into that production in order to make that thing a success.
Right. Okay.
The athletes aren't cutting that grass and landscaping that.
They're
that
not.
field,
They're
that
not.
turf, that
They're not.
whatever. You see, they're not
not.
ensuring that people get to their seats properly.
Right.
They're not
They're
checking
not.
security.
They're not feeding the people.
You see what I'm saying? They're only entertaining them while on that field.
That's
now,
it.
as the owners don't get out on that field and go make
They
those
don't.
plays.
They don't.
Neither do those coaches.
No, they don't.
You see what I'm saying? So, but it is a large production to make that thing a success so that we know it is, right? If I could tell you this, professional athletes are servants as well. They have a responsibility to that organization from which they belong. And if you think I'm misquoting and not saying that properly, then how about you go out there and not perform? They'll have your ass replaced.
Right.
I mean, it happens all the time.
True.
You see what I'm saying? If you don't do what you're supposed to do, there is consequences that follow.
But let me interject.
Go right ahead.
If there's no servants to perform this mission, there's no establishment.
And those athletes are servants. Those
Exactly.
bosses are servants.
No, but what I'm saying is we talking to the people that misconceive the term boss and servant.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I think all bosses are servants.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
bosses technically are servants.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's more along the lines of the cliche term statement when I'm a boss nigga or I'm a boss chick. You know, I did. There we go. Hold on 1 second.
I like that ringtone.
Yes, sir. Let me see who this is. Hello?
What time for Nipsey, by the way?
This Jerry?
Yeah, what's good, bro?
Jerry, what's good, man? Good to hear your voice, son.
You're right. Loving what you got going on, though.
Man, I appreciate you, son. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming from where we come from. You know what I'm saying? But I first I want to welcome you to the show because we live, you know what I'm saying? And I just I wanted you to break down your statement because you placed a comment in the comment section, and we know what we talking about. We talking about bosses versus servants. You know what I mean? And I just wanted you to share, if you will, your perspective on why you feel like you're a boss. Or first of all, should I ask you, do you consider yourself boss or servant?
Right now, I'm in the process of turning over to the boss. I mean,
Right, I got you.
working there,
Got you. So you understand the importance of serving then?
Absolutely. You gotta be a server first. You gotta be a worker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like what I basically said was, I'm gonna read it over for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go ahead.
The boss is the blueprint. The boss is the blueprint.
Right.
The workers are there to only carry out the plan designed by the boss.
Gotcha.
I want to be recognized to be so through your work ethic and how you perfect my vision and dream to life. And by then, the universe will reward you. But the most important part of being a worker is knowing you're there to gain income for your own blueprint.
Right.
For your own blueprint and become an investment of yourself. What's up?
Right. Right.
Like what I'm basically saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, I work, you know what I'm saying? I work for somebody else's dream right now. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
This is something that he visioned, you feel what I'm saying? And he blueprinted and put it together. But as a worker, I'm hands-on with his blueprint, which also gives a weakness to the boss because I'm dealing with it on a daily basis, so I got more room to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, I'm also known for my dreams and my focus, though. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm only here for a check. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And them checks is my investment into me. You feel what I'm saying? My dreams,
Right.
like when I clock out 9 to 5,
Right.
I don't go home and just go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm working on my dreams now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm investing into my ideas.
Right.
And that's all it is, really. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we all got visions and ideas. We all given a gift. You feel what I'm saying? And that's your way out. You feel me? But
Yeah.
you gotta work. You gotta work to invest in it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's the thing is, I felt like, you know, it was a good topic to touch on because we got a lot of people that got the term boss misconstrued, and you know, in my opinion, like boss, it seems like it's more focused on self, you know, and I'm not trying to take away from, you know, the status of a boss. If you earned your status, or if you earned boss status, then, you know, by all means, you should take pride in what you do. But I feel like society, they run around with the terminology in a generic kind of way. Like, you know, it's the platform to achieve, but they really don't be knowledgeable that how you go about is more important, or the way that you go about, you know, towards being a boss is actually what should be more factual. Because to be honest with you, I feel like, you know, the term boss is something that the people will crown you. You really don't crown yourself a boss. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but I appreciate you for chiming in, Jay, man. That's my people, Jay, you know, all the way from Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Jersey City was good. And you know, and P, I appreciate you for calling up, dog, and just sharing your piece with us, son.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all too. That's how I kind of thought.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate it,
Thank
dog.
you, man.
And look, I appreciate you for supporting, P. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be doing a couple segment where, you know, people gonna be able to call in. So, you know what I mean? We stay tuned, all right?
All right, I got you.
All right, my boy. Peace. Yeah, so yeah, basically he's saying that, you know what I'm saying, he you know, in the meantime, he's a servant right now, which we initially would want to take pride in doing, you know, on the way to becoming a boss. If that's what you're trying to achieve, it's all good. But there's a process to go towards getting to that level. And, you know, generally speaking, boss is a status that you're crowned by people. I think it's more honorable when people speak highly of your name or they put you on boss status. But to jump out the gate just calling yourself a boss and you ain't putting no work in, to me is a little bit ridiculous.
I mean, it's cliche, man.
It's cliche.
At the end of the day.
It's cliche.
I mean, the word servant is an action.
Yeah.
It's an active word.
It's an active word.
The word or the term boss is a title.
It's a title. I love
It's like
active.
domestic,
I
you know
love
what I'm saying?
active,
it's like
dog.
a title.
Yeah, it is, right.
You know, more
right.
so like an action word. You know, we
Yeah.
serve. My perspective is, you know, whether you say you're a boss or you don't identify as a servant, because let's be honest, I mean, the term servant between those two choices is the least partial. Nobody wants to say, unless they really truly know.
Understand, exactly.
You got to understand the difference
got
between serving and, delegating, if you will.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, to have complete control over your life is a given. You may be obligated with a company to work and perform, but technically you can do whatever you decide you want to do whenever you decide. That's a given. That's not even, that's like, you don't have to work for this company.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So they simplify it to those who technically have bosses will say, I want to be the boss.
Yeah.
You want that control, like you were saying, want that power.
Yeah.
They want to be able to delegate responsibilities. I'll run the operation.
Right.
And when you get to that point where it's like you're not looking for that instant gratification, you see what I'm saying? When it's no longer about self, when you become selfless, as I mentioned prior to, you come to the realization that you have a purpose while in this life.
Right.
Because what every one of your listeners and your audience and anyone who comes in contact with this podcast, we all understand that there's a beginning and an ending.
It is.
That's not up for debate.
Right.
And so, with that being said, in between start and finish, there's a window. And in between that window, you want to make it count. You want to make your experience in this life valuable, memorable.
Right.
And when you get to a certain point, you want it to have purpose.
You should.
Divine
As
purpose.
you should.
So what happens with that purpose requires you to become accessible to learn who you are and what your responsibilities are. But you got to have a certain level of maturity.
Right.
So when the bosses is thinking, I want to go get it for me, make sure I'm straight, I want a vacation, I want to try this, I want to do this, I. You see, and like you were saying, just to hit on what you said earlier, things that technically weather and fade, they have absolutely no meaning towards the end. Because at the very end, when you're hitting that countdown and you know it's coming, none of that shit matters.
None of it matters. And I guarantee you, if you and I'm willing to put money on this, folks. I don't gamble, but I guarantee you, in a stage setting of bosses and servants, the boss. Now let me say this: the servants is gonna be more memorable than the boss. I don't care what they say,
Without
bro.
question, man.
Yeah,
Without
the servants
question.
gonna be more memorable. They gonna think about the people that blood, sweat, and tears put into the effort of what we're trying to build, as opposed to the dude who was sitting up top pointing fingers and calling shots. I guarantee you. You know what I'm saying? Because let's just be honest. Nobody likes to be told what to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, once again, bro, I'm not throwing shots at the bosses. I'm just, solidifying and bringing definition to the term. Bosses and servant. I love servanthood. I love it. I love every bit of servanthood. I love the fact that I don't got to know you. You can walk up to me and be like, Hash, bro, I'm doing such, and such. And I'm looking for some sort of guidance. I want to be steered in a direction. And I could welcome you with open arms and embrace you as an equal. And not only that, I have something to give to you. I have something that you could take with you and capitalize on. I could steer you in a way and give you a sense of hope. You know what I'm saying? And tell you, okay, boom, I went this route.
Hash, not to interrupt you, man,
Go
but
ahead.
when you get a piece of knowledge, when you gain something, when you learn something, when you acquire an experience, psychology says in order to have something, you must give something.
You have to.
So if I gather some knowledge...
Did he just turn up the music?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
So, for example, your babies, if you will.
Yeah.
You got your experiences in this life that you've gone through. Hold on 1 second, Capri.
That's still loud, huh? It's loud. It's loud. All right, good. We're going to keep going. P, I ain't want to
Let
interrupt
me shorten
you,
this up one time for your
Yeah.
funky ass mind. So in other words,
Yeah.
you know, you share your experiences with your children. You pretty much just share your experiences with anyone who are listening because everybody has a story.
Yeah.
And in that story, you gain experiences that can help me in my journey.
Yeah.
Or I can heal you. You may come to me with your story, and I may come to you, allowing myself to be used by the Most High, the God of the universe, and I may heal you.
Right.
Your objective was to give me your story.
Got you.
My objective was to give you some healing. Either way it goes, we both served our purpose.
We both serve. Okay.
We
I
both
could get with
served
that.
our purpose.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So don't get so accustomed to thinking me and myself, because even in the scripture it says, you know, don't quote me, but I believe that, you know, you can have your heaven here if you subscribe to heaven and hell. You can have your riches and glory here. You can have that life, that boss style lifestyle here. But what happens in the afterlife when you were so busy being greedy, eating good, wasn't doing your job?
Right.
What happens then if you subscribe to anything that has an afterlife?
Right.
Energy isn't created nor destroyed, it transfers, right? So when that energy transfers, will you have prevailed enough to have whatever experiences that's after this one? Will it be fulfilling based off of what you did in this one? Is my question. By being a boss versus serving your purpose. What makes more sense to you? You see, well, I want to have it here and take everything I can get and be greedy, or serve my purpose and see what's left for me? I don't know, man.
Well,
Propose your question.
Well, this is the thing. I think that is, from a slightly different perspective, serving your purpose as opposed to serving. Because you can serve your purpose as a boss.
But you're still serving is the point I'm trying to make.
I know. And
you still serve, even as a boss.
Right.
You still serve.
Right. So my thing is like, is it more effective? Which one's more effective?
I'm starting to blur the lines. I'm not seeing that big of a
difference.
I'm just seeing the title at this point now.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
So you just answered the question,
you know,
too.
I don't really see, you know.
Yeah. This is a boss talking. Keep in mind, this nigga is a boss. You feel me?
Let him tell it.
Yeah, and if you check him out good, he relates to that force, that word a lot. He identifies with the term boss. Because he know that walk. You ever work for anybody, my brother?
Yeah, man, I work for everybody. Hey.
That's
Hey, I got work to do, man. I got work to do, man. See, because I'm walking in my purpose, I'm serving my purpose.
See,
I know it ain't about
right,
me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the difference.
Right. Now I got
you see what I'm saying?
I got
When you become selfless, when you become aware of self, you do whatever you can do to prevail those who are willing to, allow you to serve your purpose.
Boss.
That's where I'm at.
Boss.
You know what I'm saying? Brother Smooth joined us, man, about a half hour ago, man. And I don't know if you want to chime in, man, but we love to get a little input from you, brother. Serving and boss, man. What's the difference between the two of you?
Or should I say, what are you, Smooth? A servant or a boss?
Yeah, what
right
are you,
off the
good
top
sir?
of your mind. Without thinking.
I serve my people.
So you're a servant.
Same time, man.
Yeah, you gotta pull up, you know what I mean? Smooth. That nigga came in with the grand entrance of a lifetime. Auntie Janice, how you doing? Good to see you. Dimitri, good to see you, brother. If you still there, it's good to see y'all. Thank y'all for joining in. We are, talking. Our topic today is bosses versus servants. What is the difference in the essential roles of each, and what are you? What do you consider yourself in particular, a boss or a servant? That's the topic. Go ahead, Smooth.
I like how y'all kicked it off. When I first walked in, when I first entered the room.
Yeah.
Which was, just like the example that you gave, when you go to a store and there's an issue, somebody asks for a boss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right, well, let me call my boss.
Right.
That person comes like, no, okay. This is the problem. If they can't figure out what to do, okay, I want to talk to someone at a higher authority than you are.
Yeah.
When that person comes out, are you the boss? No, I'm the owner. With that being said, it's only so far that I just got an epiphany of how far a boss can go. So when, okay, it's no longer a boss now I'm the owner of this.
Yeah.
I'm at a higher level than what a boss is.
Okay.
Because a boss, the person that I have working as a boss works for me.
Right.
You understand?
Wait. Break that down again.
Right, I like
the
that.
person that you have
The person
working.
that I have working for me, I made them the boss.
Okay. So you talking big boss business.
Facts.
Yeah.
Now you talking to the owner.
I get that.
Now you're not talking to a boss anymore. I am the owner of this.
I respect that, but check this out. Do all the young and upcoming bosses and leaders, are they perceiving this understanding this way? Or, is it just a cliche term, a status to achieve? And to be devalued, the servants, or the servants to be devalued in the process?
Well, when you say servant, the first thing somebody gonna think of is, I already watched Coming to America. My name is not, what's his name? Wait, what's
his name?
Wait, I thought...
I know. We all know who you talking about. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, that's him.
Who's that, D? Oh, I see. Okay.
Well,
whatever, I forgot his name. That's and it's a shame. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
But they put me on the spot. So you walk in, he was considered a servant because he served Eddie Murphy, Hakeem.
Okay.
He served Hakeem.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that, from it being misunderstood exactly what a servant does, which he did call himself that, and he served him.
Yeah.
Who did, from him serving Hakeem, what was his daddy?
Right. But you know what, though? Even if he wasn't to be, let's say he wasn't to serve, Hakeem's role as a king and his need for a servant is so imperative.
Semi.
Yeah, Semi, that's his name.
Semi.
That if it wasn't him, it would have been somebody else. In other words, he couldn't operate functionally and do the work by himself without some sort of servant on his side. Because in actuality, the movie had some women that were servants too. They was bringing the rose petals. You feel me? They was bringing the jewelry. That's servants. Now, what's so bad is the world don't necessarily see the servant, and I like to shed light on servants because I think their role is crucial to Earth, man. And once again, I'm marveled to this day when I pull through the subdivision, a nice size in the suburbs, and I see these establishments put up. You know what I'm saying? And without taking anything from the Hispanics, but the Mexicans, they sold up that entire field of business. Can we agree, y'all? Or you feel what I'm saying? I'm talking about amazing houses. You go to places like Royal Oaks, where nice parts of Houston, where the people in there got some change. We don't see the people who laid them bricks and put that foundation down. We only see the fact that Royal Oaks is an upscale establishment. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to shed light on the servants, man. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say a major respect and condolences to bosses too. I'm not knocking bosses. I'm just saying, a little bit overrated. You feel me? I'm just saying, you feel me? I'm not trying to knock you, but let's put some light on the servants. Let's see this. Let's acknowledge the servants, that people that put in the work. You know what I'm saying? That's willing to get their hands dirty while you sitting around, walking around, clean. Let's regard some of the people that got their hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, man, it's a beautiful thing. I feel like this is my perspective. When I go, and I'm just being honest with y'all, you guys are my people, so I'm gonna connect with y'all. When I go, I want people to miss me. You feel what I'm saying? I want people to literally almost break into tears when they think, all right, something happened to Hash. Now, mind you, I'm not scared of going. I'm not in fear of going because my life was ordained by the Most High, like my boy Pete always like to say.
Amen.
I love how he states that. My lifestyle or my journey, my purpose was ordained by God. You feel what I'm saying? So when it's time for me to go, it's time for me to go. But what's most important to me is the influence and the effect that I might have had on the people around me. I don't have to, even if I don't see all 50 states or I don't travel the world, the fact that I was able to influence a small amount of people, or, you know what I'm saying, lead a group of people into a direction that's somewhat more uplifting and more honorable is way more important to me than controlling people, you know, or just running some stuff. You know what I'm saying? As we speak, I've been called boss a few times in my career. In my field of walking, I've been called boss a few times. I don't take pride in it, but I've been called by this name. I understand I have leadership in me. You know what I'm saying? I understand that I'm not a follower, but I also once followed. I once followed. Let's not get that misconstrued.
And still will.
And still will. I still will follow leaders to this day. So I'm speaking from a more humble perspective when I talk about the term servant. You feel what I'm saying? I'm willing to serve. And I love it. I love the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you could come to me and I have something to give to you that's going to uplift you and make you feel a little better than the emotion you came with. You know what I'm saying? So I can't express to y'all how much I love service. Anyway, really quick, you have anything that you want to share with the people?
Just to reiterate, you know, it all depends on your understanding of either one of those positions, where you were based, your due diligence. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a title is just a title. You know, someone could call you, badmouth you. If it doesn't, you know, if it technically isn't true, or if it isn't just, you know, you can, once you reach a certain level of maturity, you just keep it moving.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, like, I mean, just to simplify this without reiterating or beating this into the ground, it's just like I feel that we all have to serve a purpose. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So technically, if you consider yourself to be a boss, make sure you serve that purpose.
Make sure you serve that purpose.
That's it.
Make sure you
and
serve
you don't
that
even
purpose.
have to agree with me or not that you a servant, agree with the brother Hash or whoever.
Right.
You don't have to agree with us on our stance. I mean, we appreciate and will respect your theory on your life anyways.
Right.
However, when you or if you ever reach a certain level of maturity, understanding, you will come to the grips that it ain't never and will it ever be about you.
It will never be about you. Well said. Well said. Real quick, I always give my people a book, man, and I'm delighted because I read this book several times. Unfortunately, during my time of incarceration, I meditated on this book right here, and this book is powerful, and it got me through quite a bit. And the book I got for y'all today, some of you may have already read the book, but a few of you may be new to this book. It's called The Purpose-Driven Life, written by Rick Warren, narrated by Rick Warren. If anybody ever read The Purpose-Driven Life from start to finish, y'all know just how powerful this book is. So yeah, so really quick, man, once again, I want to thank you guys for joining in. I've been working on eliminating how many I say. I've been doing.
Man, you know them serve a purpose, man.
I know. But I'm trying
Hey,
to
that's gonna go up a lot of people's head, but I'm just. I'm shooting shots to the dog, man. You know what I'm saying?
P bugging out. Pay attention, y'all.
Yeah.
But look, I've been working on my speech etiquette, man, and I'm destined to perfect the art of speaking. So, you know, I'm trying to eliminate these ums. Bear with me, y'all. You know what I mean? But there I go again. There I go with the again.
Ain't nothing but that boss talk.
So look, the channel, folks, ladies and gentlemen, is MenOvHonor. I have my own YouTube channel. It's titled MenOvHonor. And you guys, if you like the content that we putting out, please go on there, check us out, subscribe. This is only the beginning. There I go again with that I got a lot of content for y'all, trust me. Good content, you know what I'm saying,
It's all good.
that will uplift. And once again, the show MenOvHonor is geared towards the upliftment of men. I feel like the more honorable men we have, the more honorable dads we have, the more honorable husbands we have, the more honorable brothers we have.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Right. There's a lot of disloyalty amongst ourselves as brothers, and we fail to realize the power that we possess coming together. As we speak in this room is joint arms. This is the only way this would happen. My brother Darius, he does the choreography and the production of the entire video. I'm joined by my brother P here. You know me, got my brother Smooth in the house. This is a joint effort. And this is what my show is geared toward, the upliftment and strengthening of men. You know, we got a lot of women empowerment movement going on. A lot of Me Too movements going on. You know what I'm saying? And there's not enough uplifting the men. And I feel honored to be in that position to generate that type of energy, because I feel like where 2 or 3 are gathered, you know what I'm saying, things could happen. Where 2 or 3 brothers join together, sisters, you too, you join together, things could happen. Division will cause nothing but failure and pain. That's it. We're not going to get nowhere. We're not going to influence nobody. We're not going to lead nothing, because there's division. You know what I'm saying? A divided house will fall. You know what I'm saying? But upliftment and strengthening and moral support is what I'm here to do. And I would like to just encourage you guys, man, to take pride in serving. If you are,
serve your purpose.
serve
man.
your purpose.
Serve your
serve
purpose.
Your purpose.
Yeah.
If that's your calling, serve your purpose.
Serve your purpose.
You feel what I'm saying?
Serve your purpose.
And you'd be amazed to see how blessed, you know, the reward is from serving. Because once again, servant eliminates self. You took yourself out the equation.
That's right.
So now you put yourself in a position to be a blessing to somebody else. And that's
right.
the beauty initially in serving.
That's
so
right.
Before I go, we could talk a whole bunch of garbage. A whole bunch of garbage, which we are well at doing, verse at doing.
And we do at the barber
You
shop.
feel what I'm saying? We do. But why not put some honor on it?
That's right.
You feel me? Why not make it honorable when we talk? What's wrong with it? You know what I'm saying? And once again, I appreciate you guys for checking me out and for staying tuned. This is only the beginning. I got gifts. You feel me? Pay attention. I got gifts. For real. I'm not speaking from out the side of my neck. I've been around for a minute. I got some experience, and I got the heart of God. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean I'm perfect, but I got a heart to give. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna continue to give. Shout out to everybody that was a part of this show. Took the time to view us. Took the time to listen to what we had to say. I wouldn't be able to do it without y'all. And once again, feel free to chime in and, you know, comment. Let us know how we doing. Let us know how our vocals sound. You know what I mean? Feel free to comment, inbox me. Let me know where I need to improve. And also later in the near future, we'll be taking, you know, topics and stuff like that. So y'all can feel free if y'all want us to talk about something that is going to be geared towards what our program is stemmed around, which is the upliftment of men. feel free to, send me the message, and we'll gladly sit around the table and pick it apart, man. In some way, give the listeners something to go away with, something to gravitate from, and feel uplifted about. All right. I appreciate y'all. You guys continue to be blessed. And in closing, I will say, before me, there was none. After me, there will be many. Hate, jealousy, and envy are amongst the few. But for all that, we got remedy. You know what I mean? Deemed to be different, deemed to have to make a change and be of some sort of influence to the young and upcoming that's under you. Y'all be easy. Peace.